There is a popular saying in leadership that if you think you're leading and there's nobody following you, you are only going on a walk. On this platform, you are going to learn principles of leadership. You are going to encounter different leaders. You are going to learn about how you can grow as a leader, how you can make an impact. My name is Samuel Eyim, and I'm the host for the leadership platform. I am a leadership coach, a lawyer by profession, a John C. Maxwell certified coach. I have been in corporate life in senior positions for several years, and now I run the Center for Transformational Leadership, where we train and coach leaders to become better leaders. And I invite you to go on a journey with us as we discuss the subject of leadership in the coming weeks.
This and every Saturday, you have opportunity to ask questions, share your views on important leadership matters.
Hi, dear friend. My name is Samuel Eyim, and I'm the CEO for the Center for Transformational Leadership. And I'm bringing to you the growth journey. We've set aside 15 weeks of growth to help you to be intentional about your growth. Where do you want to reach in your leadership? Which area of your life do you want to grow in? Growth doesn't just happen. It has to be intentional. So in these 15 weeks, we're going to have a special coaching sessions with you to be able to grow to where you want to grow. And to be able to grow yourself, you need to know yourself. A lot of us are not achieving the maximum we can achieve because we have not invested in our personal growth. We're going to help you in all and more within these 15 weeks. Every week we'll have a session with you. This program is limited to only 15 people. We're going to have 15 people for 15 weeks, and we're going to learn 15 great growth lessons on this journey. So make a date with us and see you on the growth journey.
Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Platform. My name is Samuel Eyim, and I'm excited to be with you once again this evening on the Leadership Platform because we have this even an amazing topic and even an amazing speaker, leader, coach, trainer who is going to blow us out of our comfort zone. So you are all welcome. But before we start, let me encourage all of you who are joining to introduce yourselves. If you're on Facebook Live, just give us your name, where you are coming from. We'll be happy to connect with you and announce you to the world. If you're joining through YouTube, go ahead and introduce yourself. Also subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any edition. Share the link with your friends, your colleagues, your bosses, because what we're going to discuss this evening is so critically important. Invite your family, your children, your wife, your husband, your friends, family and friends, okay, to join the platform this evening. We know also that many of you join, you don't announce yourself publicly, so we know you are there. So we thank you and appreciate all of you. Our objective every week is to be able to bring you something meaty, something relevant that will help you on your journey in life and your leadership. So feel free to be with us. The team is there. Sarah is there. We will see her. Abigail, Kofi, Diana, and the rest of the team. Thank you for putting this together. I know we are going to learn a lot. All right. So the other thing I want to say is that a lot of you have been trying to register for the growth journey. Fortunately, unfortunately, the class is full and the journey has already started. So we have done 2 weeks of the journey. So we are encouraging all those of you who are knocking at the door to go ahead, still register, because we are going to set up another stream. And as soon as we have 15 people, we're going to start that. We are not waiting till the end of the third journey. So we're going to run the 2 journeys concurrently. So feel free to register. We have some amazing, amazing people who are on the journey already. They are just flying, they're blowing their minds, they're learning so much. Great leaders, great executives, lawyers, accountants, bankers, scientists, doctors, all of them have joined the journey and they are learning already. So we encourage you, no matter where you are on your growth, don't think you have already arrived. There is always more to learn. So go ahead and join. All right. So I can see already, I can only see Kwame JB, who is joining us from the UK. Kwame, you are welcome. I see Mami Buffalo from Holland, Amsterdam. Mami, good evening. Welcome joining us. I'm sure that other people would introduce themselves and join us. But we know there are others who are already joining and waiting and not introducing themselves. So we will go ahead and as and when people introduce themselves, we will introduce them. Hajia Alima Sagito is here. Great topic to discuss. Al-Hassan Naumu. This is Al-Hassan Naumu from Alajo. Alajo, welcome, Al-Hassan. We appreciate you and you are welcome. Well, so let me quickly introduce to you our speaker for today. Our speaker, as announced, is Ohene-Effah, Ohene-Effah, and I believe that some of you may have encountered him because from what I gather, in 2021 alone, he trained, empowered 5,757 individuals at some 68 seminars, workshops, conferences, and training sessions from 9 countries. I mean, I don't have to say anything more about Michael. I mean, I just wonder how this man trained people from 68 countries, 5,757 people, 68 seminars, workshops. It's amazing, which means it's like, every week he's doing 2 or 3 workshops and seminars. This is interesting. He's going to tell us how he was able to do this, but this shows you somebody who is committed to the growth of people. He has over 25 years experience from 5 industries, and half of which at very senior positions. He will tell us more. Michael is a co-founder of League Afrique and International and Inter Afrique Limited, League Afrique International and International Intel Afrique. These are organizations focused on leadership development and training. And Michael will tell us more about what they do so that you can take the opportunity to connect with him and also be able. He is a development consultant and he says he loves reading. I mean, how else could he have been such a powerful teacher and leader? Okay, he loves Banku and Okro. So those of you who who are great at preparing banku and okra. After the session, I'm sure you're going to send a few balls to Michael. Michael, you are very welcome to the leadership platform. We appreciate you. We're so grateful that you're taking the time of all these busy schedules to come and share with us. And we know you're going to give us some really good stuff. All right. So, Michael, the platform is yours. We have Sam Mami is there already, and Benjamin Joseph is also announced himself. But for now, Michael, thank you for coming.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Samuel. And before I start, let me wish everyone on the call a happy new year. May 2022 be the best year of your life. And Samuel and the team, thank you for the confidence and the invitation to be on your platform. I know the great work that you are doing, touching lives from many people across the world. And God bless you for your belief in human development and the African spirit. And I'm happy that God has appointed this time for us to be together so we can share, grow, and learn together. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, so how do I project the slide, Mr. Adi?
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Okay, so just a little bit about myself. I'm a trainer and consultant. As someone said, I do this full time, and that allows me to, reach people from different parts of Africa and the world. I run Lead Africa International and Intel Africa Limited. Lead Africa International is into people development. We believe that every human being is born great, and that we need to just help you, enable you to unearth that greatness. And we do that through a number of programs, a number of initiatives, focusing especially on young people from primary school to the university. That is what we do at Lead Africa. Intel Africa is a specialist company. We do political advisory. That's my other side. A lot of people don't know that about me, but that's the other side of Michael. And in between all of this, I am a husband and a father, which is my greatest roles in life. All right, so what are we going to talk about? I'll just deal on 5 things. First, we'll be looking at the comfort zone. Today's session is on how successful leaders are able to move from their comfort zone to their growth zone. So we'll spend some time looking at what is the comfort zone. And then we'll be looking at the growth zone. What is it? When we say growth, what does it mean? We'll be looking at the benefits of moving away from your comfort zone and moving to your growth zone, or somewhere that will help you to grow, to achieve your life's dream, your life's mission, and your ambitions in life. Now, to do that, I will offer 4 tips and then 6 ways. So this is the presentation, and I hope to do this in about 30 minutes. I would like to field as many questions as I can, because I think that is where the real meat is. So I'll do this fairly quickly, and then we can field questions. Okay. A lot of the time, we start every new year with great hopes and with great aspirations. I am sure 2022 is not an exception. A lot of us have a habit of going to watch night services on 31st December, or for those of us in other fields, we spend the first week of the year, having these grand ambitions and dreams of how we want our year to pan out, how we want our year to be. Some engage in setting resolutions, others have plans, others have goals, and others have dreams, just dreams of how I want my new year to be. But the research says that only a few of us actually achieve these dreams and these goals. Only a few of us are able to achieve what we set out to do. In fact, the research is that only 8% of New Year resolutions are achieved. The hoping 92% never get achieved. They remain resolutions. So what happens? How come that we start the year full of vim, as the young people of today will say? We start the year full of hopes, dreams, ambitions. How come that by June we realize that no, none of the things that we claim we wanted to do, we are not even 10% there? What happens? So that is what this conversation is about, to try and understand what happens within the process. Now, the research is that what holds most of us back from achieving what we have set out to do, the plans that you have for the 10 domains of your life, is not because you don't have the knowledge. You have the knowledge, you have the skill, you have the strength, but the challenge is our frame of mind, our mindset. A lot of the time, most people do not change or renew their mindset for the year. So we do everything, including sometimes painting our houses, getting new clothes and all of that. But what happens is that we come into the new year with the old mindset, with everything, the way we used to think, the way we do our things, the way we do. And the position is, that is what holds us back. That is what prevents us from achieving our dreams and our aspirations. All right. So my challenge to you is that you need to have a new mindset for the new year. Your beliefs about you yourself, your beliefs about your achievement, your beliefs about your goals, your beliefs about your dreams, you need to change it. You cannot enter 2022 with the mindset of 2021. You cannot hope for success when everything about you is still the same. The research is that every day we have about 35,000 thoughts that run through our mind. The research says 80% of this, in fact, some researchers say 90% of these 35,000 thoughts are negative. We complain about the government, we complain about policy, we complain about the local government, we complain about our bosses, we complain about the economy, we complain about inflation. So a hoping 80 to 90% of the 35,000 thoughts that run through our mind are negative. And those thoughts is what prevents us from being all that we were born to be. So my challenge is, begin to look at how you think. Pay attention to your thoughts. How do you think? What is your own thinking about your dreams, your aspirations, and your goals? Do you think you are worthy? Do you think you are capable? Do you think at the deep recesses of your mind that you can get the best out of 2022? Or there's something, some background music playing in your mind at the ancient part of your brain that still says the economy is hard. My boss is a difficult one. You know, insurance is a tough industry. You know, globally, we are not doing well with this industry. You know, the statistics from the World Bank says that this and this is what is going to happen. You know, nowadays, you know, relationships, you know, the men are cheating, the women are cheating. You know, even children of nowadays, you cannot control them. So these are the kinds of thoughts that we go through every day. So whilst there's something, you have an aspiration, you have a yearning that 2022 will be better, everything that goes through your mind is saying, I can't achieve. It's saying, I will not be able to achieve my goals for 2022. It's saying, I don't deserve the best. All right. So this is the invitation to you. Today, from tonight, pay attention to your thinking. Think about your thinking and then begin to ask yourself, are these positive? Are these enabling me to achieve my life dreams? Or they are negative? They are still holding me back. I am sort of imprisoned by my thoughts. All right, so let's now look at the comfort zone. What is the comfort zone? Now, when we say the comfort zone, it's a behavior state. It's a behavior state. Now, when you are operating within the comfort zone, you are cool, you are okay. You have achieved what you set out for yourself. You have a good job. Yeah, it's paying well, it's paying the mortgage. Your children are attending some good schools. You don't struggle to find food to eat. You are fine. You think everything is fine. That is the comfort zone. And you operate usually without a sense of risk. You think at your age and where you have reached, this is fine. I mean, you don't want to disturb, you don't want to ruffle any further. That is the comfort zone. So if you are in a state today where you have plateaued. You think that you have everything wrapped up. You are no longer challenging yourself. You are no longer taking any more risks. Then you are operating from a position of your comfort zone. Now, there's no incentive for you to do anything. There's no incentive for you to rush. There's no incentive for you to try out anything. You have achieved. Maybe you rose through the ranks. You are now at a C-suite level. You are general manager level. You are chief operating officer level. You have a team that is working to you. Everything seems to be okay. You are operating in the comfort zone. And then you go about your reason. As I said, you don't want to take any risk. You are in your mid-40s. Why should you be struggling? You are in your early 50s. You are in your late 30s. Why should you be trying this thing? This is for the younger people. So if you are operating within the familiar, if you are at ease and in control, and you don't want to do anything that is stretching, that is risky, you are operating in your comfort zone. It is not bad. It is not a bad state. All of us want to reach that level where we are happy, we are fulfilled, and we are satisfied. So it's not a bad state. But that's where a lot of people find themselves in. All right. Now, the research is that 98% of the population operate from the comfort zone. We are fine. We are okay. We don't want, everything is fine. The problem is the government. Only 2% of the population operate with a mindset that, yes, I've done something, but I need to move. Now, let me give you the example of those people that we call the mavericks. Somebody like Elon Musk. Today, he is overtaking Bill Gates as the richest person in the world. Now, Elon Musk made his money by being part of the founders of PayPal. Now, they sold PayPal. His share of the sale was $100 million. The legend is that he immediately invested $95 million of the $100 million. And I think kept $5 million in some new venture. The reason is that right after receiving $100 million, he actually was renting a house. He didn't buy a home. He immediately put the money into new ventures. Today, he was exploring space because that's always been his ambition, that man must not be a uniplanetary species, that we should be able to conquer Mars. Then he said, look, there's too much land underground cities. Why can't we do something with it? So he set up another venture. And then he set up a Tesla, which was to do battery, solar, and then cars. And he immediately put 100. Now, how many of us will be able to take $100 million and say, God, thank you very much. You have answered my prayers. I have arrived. Let me buy myself some beach house. Let me get myself my dream car. Let me go on some holiday to chill out. And then I'll come and put the money in treasury bill and just enjoy my life. Where I have arrived, I have struggled. Now you have answered my prayers. So that is what this research, that statistic is talking about. That a lot of us, if we were in Elon Musk's shoes, would have been in the comfort zone, buy ourselves a very big house. We don't have to struggle to maintain it because some steady income flow will be coming in. And so that mindset that Elon Musk has is only 2% of people that seem to have it in the general population. That never-ending quest to get better, to explore the blue ocean, only 2% of people have it. So my question to you is, where are you? Are you in the 98% or the 2%? Please ponder over it as the presentation goes on. All right. So anytime you see this, I am asking you to reflect. So one, as you sit here today, I want you to take a pen and paper. Depending upon where you are, you can pull your phone if you don't have a pen and paper, and then write down these questions for me, especially if you want to move from your comfort zone to your growth zone. First of all, ask yourself, what's your comfort zone? If there's anybody in this world who knows you, it's you. So what's your comfort zone? It could be maybe your professional life. It could be maybe your financial life. It could be maybe your health life. It could be maybe your relationship life, your love and romance life. It could be, so in which aspect of your life do you think you are operating in the comfort zone? Now, your comfort zone is what have you tolerated or allowed for so long? That's a comfort zone. So look to reflect over your life and ask yourself, what have I tolerated or what have I allowed for so long. That's a place of comfort. And then what are your current routines and habits? What are your current routines and habits? What do you do from wake up, sun up to sundown? That's your routine. So begin to note them. There will be a trend. And then from Sunday to Saturday, how is your behavior like? Begin to note it down for me. So please write all these questions and answer it if you really want to benefit from this presentation. And then what are your current beliefs? What is your belief about you yourself? What is your belief about the economy? What is your belief about your industry? What is your belief about your work? Write them down for me, because it is like slow music, classical music that is playing at the background of your life. And whilst you may not be aware of it, it is influencing your actions, your behaviors, and your decisions. So kindly write down these questions for me and find an answer to it. All right. So now that we have explored what the comfort zone is, we know what it means to be there. Let's look at how we can move from there to the growth zone. We'll do that quickly. Now, behavior scientists say there are generally 4 zones, and this research was conducted by one psychologist called Carol Dweck. She was the one to propound this story that there are actually 4 growth states, and that every human being may go through. Some may not go through all, some may go through, or depending upon what we decide to do, the challenges that life throws us at. So a lot of us operate from the first level, the comfort zone. We feel safe and secure. We are okay. We are cruising. I've already explained that. Then we have the fear zone. So the fear zone is anytime you want to do something new, then there's fear, there's trepidation. You are asking, can I do this? Am I capable? Hey, this place that I'm going, can I? Maybe you've been transferred to a new geographical location. Maybe you have changed jobs, same industry, but different company. And you are wondering, how is this new place going to be like? Maybe you are operating in a new industry. But how am I going to be able to do the shift? Recently, a friend of mine who has been a senior accountant in one industry moved to the same position, but in a completely new industry. And he was actually, the accounting is the same, but the principles are actualized differently. So he was now having to relearn because he was operating in a new. So anytime you want to make a move, fear. Maybe you are single. There's that lady after your heart that you want to approach. And then it's fear. Your palm starts to sweat and you are asking, hey, will she accept? Will she insult me? How is she going to receive me? So you begin to look at fear. Or you've been given an assignment at the office. You are like, can I be able to do it? Do I have the competency to do it? How will my boss perceive me if I deliver this assignment? So we have fear zone, and that is immediately we decide to get out of the comfort zone. Then when you are able to go past the fear, you move to the learning zone. The learning zone is when you begin to take up the challenge and say, you know what, why don't I research about this? Why don't I begin to ask people about this? So as we used to do when we were young, growing up in Kotobabi down in Accra, if you're interested in a lady, you start asking her friends and her neighbors and her cousins, hey, how is she like? What does she like? Okay, so that I can begin to buy what she likes. Or if you were to move to a new industry, you read about the industry. You look for annual reports. You will Google, you will search. And so you begin to learn about the new challenge that you are going to embark on. And when you have been able to learn and apply it, then you move to growth zone. This is where you begin to now acquire the new habit, the new knowledge, the new behavior, and you begin to try it out. And so you are 6 months into this new job, and you are now beginning to understand that industry. You are now beginning to understand your new department and your new colleagues. And you are now beginning to work, and you are now beginning to, oh, okay, actually, this is not as difficult as I thought. So please pay attention to the 4 growth states. We have comfort zone, we have fear zone, we have learning zone, and then we have the growth zone. Now, depending upon which aspect of your life, you may be moving through these 4 zones at different domains of your life. Maybe when it comes to work, you are very quick to move from comfort to growth. But when it comes to your financial life, you are still within comfort zone. When it comes to your love and relationships, you are in fear zone. So you are in different zones depending upon different aspects of your life. So kindly pay attention to that. All right. So how do you move from the comfort zone to the growth zone? One is every change begins when you are dissatisfied with the present. Every world revolution, without exception, has come about because people got fed up and said, enough is enough. We are so utterly dissatisfied with the status quo. We need to get rid of it. You will never change anything you are satisfied with. You will never change anything you are comfortable with. You will never change anything you accept. So the first move you need to make this year is to be dissatisfied with the present. When you are enamored by the first product, you will never improve it. But a few years ago, Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone to the world. Today we are on iPhone 13. So there has been 13 different developments, new additions, new specifications of the product that was unveiled to the world. Why? Because Apple never rests on their laurels. As soon as they bring out the product, they start looking at bugs, they start looking at how to fix that, how to improve it. And so one is never to be dissatisfied with the present. Then you need courage. You need courage to move past the fear zone. Now, a few years ago, in 2006, I wrote my first book, Why Not the Best? And in researching for that book, I came across the fact that there are 520 different kinds of fear. There are 50 kinds of fear related to personal achievement and growth. Just on personal achievement and growth, 50 kinds of fear. And so you need courage to be able to go through all of it. You need courage to be able to take up a new position in a new city, in a new country, in a new industry. So you need to master courage to be able to get past the fear zone. And then you need a roadmap. What is the plan? How are you going to tackle the new challenges? Then you need a new mindset. You can only do something when you have renewed your mind. And then you need new skills. Mindset is not enough. You need to acquire new skills. And then perseverance. Perseverance is that grit, that never giving up, character that says that I will persist with this until I resolve the issue. Perseverance is some people who sleep in the office till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. because they want to resolve this problem, this issue. This is what it means to move to the growth zone. So these are the things that you need to do to be able to move from the comfort zone to your growth zone. All right. Now, you need to understand just two things. So I'll share with you two things that you need to pay attention to. First of all, you need to find out how big are your zones. So as you sit here today, how big is your comfort zone? How big is your fear zone? You know yourself. Maybe you know that on most issues of life, there's something that keeps telling you that you can't do it. You are naturally a very afraid person. You always look on the dark side of things. There's always a what if. There's always that doubt, that lingering doubt that tells you that who are you? When they are calling people, you two, where are you coming from? And so how big is that? And then how big is your appetite for learning and improvement? How big is your appetite for growth? So across the different some coaches in Lead Africa will operate with 10 life zones. Some coaches work with 8 life domains. Some coaches operate with 8 life domains. Some operate with 6. Now, these are the different roles of your life. And so across these different roles of your life, where are you? And so consider the size of your zones, and then you'll be able to have a very clear roadmap in terms of how to get out of them this year. And then what are your strengths? What are your strengths? You have some strengths that you haven't given yourself credit for. And a lot of them all the time will operate underestimating the human potential and the human capacity to, grow and expand. You are afraid of trying new challenges. And anytime they give you a new job in the office, your bosses believe in you. And your bosses say, you know what, this new department that we are setting up, we think you can manage it. Move to become a team leader. Move to go and try this in a new city. And you tell as a boss, no, I don't think I can make it. And yet you have just joined the choir at church and you are trying new songs. You are singing in front of the whole church every Sunday. And so sometimes we tend to underestimate what we are capable of. And so in the office, you think you can't do public speaking, but every Sunday you speak, you sing in front of people. You are doing public speaking. It is just that the contexts are different. So right now, I want you to write down your strengths. What are your strengths? What are you good at? I want you to note them down. Maybe you are a good cook. Maybe you have very good verbal communication skills. Maybe you have very good written communication skills. Maybe you are a natural negotiator. Maybe you give good advice. Maybe you are very good with accounting. Maybe you drive very well. What are your strengths? I want you to list them down because you are going to need it this year. Catalog all your strengths. Look within yourself. Where you are unsure, ask your family to tell you what your strengths are. Ask your best friend to tell you what your strengths are. Ask your siblings to tell you what your strengths are. Ask your colleagues at work, your old schoolmates, and they will tell you, oh, we all do this, but you alone, when you do this particular thing, you are the best in it. And so write down your strengths. And any time that you are doubting yourself, go back to this catalog and let it remind you of how great and an amazing and awesome person that you are. In 2007, I joined a diplomatic mission as their political officer. And when I joined, the High Commissioner then had a habit of having what we used to call heads of session meeting. And this heads of session meeting was held every Monday morning, 9 a.m. And at that time, when we go for this heads of session meeting, it was all white, middle-class people. There were only 2 black people, myself and another colleague who was head of an institution under the unit. And we were the only 2 blacks. And there was something about me, the Kutubabi down boy, that tells me, hey, Charlie, look at this room. Oh. You are the only young black boy here. Can you really deal with these things? And so I'll put myself under enormous pressure every Sunday evening and Monday morning going to the office and I fear the mere, sound of heads of session meeting just put some fear within me. So I'll go and sit at this meeting. And anytime I have to present, my voice is shaking, it's breaking. I can't really talk. And every time I have a plan, I have a lot of things I'm going to do, but I'll say just about 1/3 and I'll just freeze. Now, this was my break. One day, the deputy head called me to her office and said, Michael, I have observed you keenly. And this were her words. He says, we know you know. So when you come to the meeting, we want you to be yourself and tell us, because we see you as the local expert. We see you as the man who is a repository of what we need to know in this country. So don't feel shy. Just be yourself and tell us what you know. That was my aha moment. The light bulb just switched. And I went home that day and said, oh, okay, so the people actually believe in me. And from then on, I never looked back. So we have some strengths that sometimes we tend to underestimate. And so list your strengths and let that motivate you to a new you this year. All right. Now, you need to also pay attention to the fact that there will be highs and lows on your journey through the 4 zones. Sometimes, yes, you move out of the fear zone, go and do something, and the result may not be as you envisaged. Now, don't give up. Try again, and then move on. Now, I remember Albert Einstein. He tried famously, even though we don't know yet, but the legend is that he tried 9,999 times before he could invent the incandescent light bulb. And he's quoted as saying that, well, I only had 9,999 opportunities to invent this. I never failed. And so there'll be lows, there'll be plateaus, there'll be highs. Sometimes something that you have genuinely prepared for, spent considerable amount of time, you'll go and it will give you a different result. Don't give up. You should remember that if all the inventors had given up at their last destiny, we wouldn't be where we are. Now, I have a principle that I call efficient failure. My principle that when you fail, don't lose the lesson. When you fail, let that failure propel you to become a better person. And so when you fail, you haven't failed, provided you learn the lessons and use that to become a better individual. When you have done that, then you have failed efficiently. And so in my organization, we write failure reports. We write activity report and we write failure report. The failure report is, what did we fail to achieve? What did we fail to do? What did we fail to win? And we catalog all of that and say, what are the lessons this is teaching us? And how does that make us a better organization? So remember that in your quest to move from your comfort zone to the growth zone, there'll be highs and lows. Don't let the lows keep you down. Use that to rise up and move on. Now you need to remember that a ship in a harbor is safe, but that's not what a ship is meant for. So the question to you and the challenge to you this year is, do you just want to be in the harbor, or you want to set sail and explore new seas, new territories, and new places? The choice is yours. You decide what you want to do. Now you see this animal, the tortoise. It is very safe in its shell. Very safe. The shell is so hard that it will take considerable amount of effort for you to crack it open. But the secret is, it never makes movement. It never makes progress inside the shell. It only begins to move when it sticks its neck out of the shell. So you never make progress or grow within the comfort zone. You only make progress when you step out of the comfort zone. All right. So now quickly, tips for moving from the comfort zone. 1, reframe stress. Reframe stress. Now, stress is good. Stress is good. There's something called positive, stress. Now, positive stress is when you embrace a new challenge and say, I'm going to crack this. Let's assume that your boss says you are presenting to the board. You are the one going to present a certain company information to the board. Now, there are 2 choices. One says, wow, my boss is setting me up for failure. I've always known this man doesn't like me. Look at how he's throwing me to the sharks. He wants me to go and make a mistake and fumble. Then the board will say, I'm not good. Another one will say, wow, what an opportunity. I'm going to present to the highest decision-making body of this organization. I'm going to prepare and crack this thing, and they will see just how good a manager and my contributions to this business. And so you see, when you adopt the second mindset, it helps you to see what you are going to do very differently. Your boss says you are going to a new city to head the business there. You can cower and say, this man, this village, how can he do this? How can he do that? Or you can take it as an opportunity to further grow, to hone your skills, and to show just how good you are. And so anytime something stressful occurs in your life, flip it and look at it in a different light. Ask yourself the question, what is this teaching me? Number 2, how can I turn this into a win? When you have done that, you will realize that you can be able to move smoothly into the 4 growth zones. Number 2, understand neuroplasticity. Now, behavior scientists, once again, they say that our brain is like plastic. Our brain is like plastic. It never stops growing. In fact, some researchers say it grows right up to your late 20s. Your brain still grows. It's like a muscle. The more you build it, the bigger it expands. And if you don't do anything to it, then it just stays in this state, and it prevents you from taking on new challenges and new opportunities. And so if you understand that your brain has the capacity to continue to grow, to continue to develop, then you will not refuse any challenge. Once you can apply yourself to it, you realize you can do it. There are people in their 50s doing second degree programs, pursuing PhDs, pursuing new things. Look at Mr. Samuel Ayim. He's a lawyer, but today he's doing leadership coaching. He didn't want to go to school to learn leadership coaching. I'm sure when he acquired his certificates, he was well advanced in age, combining the triple role of a husband, a corporate executive, and then a father, and also learning at the same time. And that is what a lot of us are and do. Your brain, once you can stretch it, it can expand to its elastic limit. Don't limit the capacity and the potential of your brain by not reading, by not researching, by not exploring, by just keeping the brain where we are. And please, don't fry your brain. on unnecessary television, because that fries your brain. It doesn't, television is a passive activity. It doesn't do anything to your brain. So find ways in which you can read more, explore more, and you realize that the more you do that, the more your brain expands. So please understand that your brain continues to grow when you allow it to grow. Number 3, prioritize. Even though I'm talking about moving from comfort zone to fear zone to learning zone to growth zone. Now, what do you want to tackle this year? What do you want to tackle this year? What are your priorities for this year? I normally advise people, don't do more than 5. And so find out where in your life you want to move from your comfort to the growth zone. What 3 major things do you want to tackle this year? Don't take too much or too many things. Otherwise, you'll stretch yourself too thin. You'll burn yourself very quickly and you'll not be able to achieve much. So prioritize. Number 4, take small steps, baby steps. Take baby steps every day. And so sometimes it is just making that phone call. Sometimes it is just, getting a colleague to take you through a technical issue you have been grappling with and sending that email and say, Charlie, and please, for the non-Ghanaians, Charlie is a term we use for our buddies and our friends. Charlie, can you just spend 2 hours with me every day after work? I want you to teach me how to really do Excel spreadsheets. So just that email is one step. Now you are waiting for your colleague. He doesn't. 3 days later, you give him a phone call on the intercom and say, Charlie, I sent you an email last week. Did you see it? When can you have time for me? So just simple baby steps is what you must take this year. Whatever it is, make progress every day. Don't stand still. All right. So now, what should you do? I will prefer 6 advice or 6 ways in which you can move from the comfort zone. And this is the last session. And then I will end so that we can take a lot of questions. So 6 things. All that I have said, what must you do? What must you do? Just 6 ways, and then we are done. All right, so number 1 is challenge your beliefs. Beliefs are very important. Now, some behavior scientists say that a lot of our adult life, we live it based on what happened to us before we were 6 years. So the choices that you make in life, the way you make your decisions, how you live your life, your routines, your habits, your worldview is all shaped by what happened to you before 6 years. And what happened to you before 6 years is operating in the subconscious mind. It's like some cool music that is playing. You may not be aware of it, but it is shaping your life choices and how you've lived your life. And so one of the things you want to do is to renew your mindset. To do that, challenge your beliefs. The story is told of a young couple who got married. And after the marriage, they went for their honeymoon and then they came back home. And the young man observed his bride that anytime she was frying sausage, she would chop off the 2 ends and then fry the sausage. And so at the 3rd day, he was like, hey, Charlie, this woman, she's spoiling me too. So went to ask her, my dear, why is it that you chop off the 2 ends of sausage before frying it? And she said, well, in my home, that's how my mom fried sausage. She always chopped off the 2 ends. And the young man asked her, why? Why did she say, I never asked her. That's how, all my life, that's how I saw her frying sausage. So he went to the mother-in-law and said, mother-in-law, my daughter chops the 2 ends of sausage before frying. And when I asked her, she said, that's how you fry. Why did you do that? And she said, well, that's how I saw my mom do it. And she said, why? I never questioned her. I never asked her. But that's how my mom fried sausage. She will always chop the 2 ends before frying. Luckily, the grandmother-in-law was alive. So he went to the grandmother-in-law and asked her, grandmother-in-law, my mother-in-law and my wife both say they saw you fry sausage by chopping up the 2 ends. Why? I want to find out why. And both of them can't seem to tell me why, because I think we are losing tons of sausage. And this old lady burst out laughing. She said, oh, back in the day, I had a small frying pan. And that is how come the sausage couldn't fit. So I had to chop up the 2 ends so it could fit in my small frying pan. So you can imagine how many generations have been chopping off needless and unnecessary sausage simply because they never challenged, they never questioned, they never asked. So ask yourself, why do I do what I do? Religiously, professionally, socially. Why do you do what you do? Have you ever given a thought to the way you think? So this evening, one of the things I'm asking you is think about the way you think. Challenge your beliefs, your assumptions about life, about yourself, your goals, and your dreams. Challenge it this year, and you become a better leader. Number 2, choose a keystone behavior to change this year. Now, a keystone is a major structure that supports a frame. So if they are building a bridge, like you see in the picture, it's like one of the major support systems in a structure. That's your keystone. It's like your pillar. So focus on, you can't win or you can't do too many things at the same time. So this year, in your quest to move from your comfort zone to your growth zone, choose one behavior that you frame your growth process and your change process around. Maybe it could be procrastination. You procrastinate a lot and you know that is killing you. It is retarding your progress in life. What do you want to do about it? Maybe it's the way you spend money. You want to change. You know it is not good and you regret after the fact, but you haven't really given a thought to that. So you want to frame your change around your spending habits. Maybe it is the fact that you hold on to past hurts too much and you know it is spoiling a lot of your relationships, but you can't help it. So what do you want to do? Is it about public speaking? Is it about, what is it that you want to, what is that major behavior that you know if you could change it, it will balloon you, it will change everything around you. So look for that one major behavior and frame your change efforts around that. And then number 3, expand your professional skill set. You need to acquire more skills. Remember, in moving, I mentioned about skills. Skills are important. So what is your current skill level like? And what new skills do you need in 2022 to be the person and the leader that you want to be? What are the skills that you think are limiting your progress? Maybe it's about self-presentation and branding. Maybe it's about communication skills. Maybe it's about your leadership skills. Maybe it's about a technical skill, something. But what is the skill that you need to acquire this year so that you can grow, you can become that leader you want to be? So I want you to list or write down about 3 or 5 skills that you need to acquire this year to be the leader that you want to be. And then the keystone behavior, I want you to write down that keystone behavior that you want to use to frame your growth efforts this year. And then 4, do everyday things differently. If you want to move from your comfort zone, you've got to trick your brain small into believing. And the more you do things that you win, the more you pump adrenaline into your system, the more you release dopamine, in the brain, and the more it encourages you to do more. And so just different, for instance, when you eat your breakfast every day, change it. Just change it. Yeah, you can now begin to eat breakfast in your garden. And that small win, that small behavior change from the norm, from the routine begins to, and you get even new ideas. Oh, wow, I've never really looked at the house like this. So do everyday things differently. Now, when I teach people, I change the direction of your bed in the bedroom. Change it. It will give you a different perspective. Your bed has remained the same for 12 years. Change it, turn a few things around, move a few things, move the wardrobe somewhere, and you begin to see life in a different way. So mundane things, just change them. And I've given an example. For instance, you are talking to people, you're on your smartphone, you're not giving them your full attention. Your kids have come home, they want to get your attention, and you're on your phone and trying to catch up on it. Just put the TV off, for once, and just focus on one thing. Give your full, the joy of your full presence to the other person. All right. Number 5. Now, develop schedules to make the change easier. Now, Robin Sharma, one of my favorite authors of all time, says all change is hard at first, messy in the middle, but very exciting at the end. So if you don't have a schedule, you need enormous amount of brain power and sheer force of will to be able to move out of the comfort zone. And so when you have schedules, it helps you to adapt better to your change. So for instance, an example is you want to start running or jogging. And so what do? You schedule it on your phone. And then you put your gym shoes on your carpet so that immediately you wake up, it reminds you that you must wear and run out. So you have scheduled it. Maybe you want to have more time with your significant other, your spouse. So what do? You schedule it. You put it in both your diary and your spouse's diary so that you can really pay attention to it. Maybe you want to spend more time with your children this year. What do? You schedule the times you want to spend together. Maybe you want to go to school or learn a new course or a new skill. What do? You schedule the times that you want to do. So when you have a schedule, it helps to make the change a bit more easy. So schedule the change and you realize that it's very easy to do. And then finally, number 6, do something that challenges you every day. Do something that challenges you every day. You want to move from your comfort zone to your growth zone. You are not going to do that by acting normal and continuing to be with your normal routine. What is going to help you is when you begin to move, from that, and then you begin to change small. So every day, change, every day, move, every day, change, every day. Just do something that, moves you away, something that scares you, something that challenges you. Maybe it's going to have that, chat with your boss. Maybe it is going to have that little thing you have always wanted to do with your spouse. Maybe it's about just letting go. One of the things I did last year, I upsailed down the Adome Bridge in the eastern region in Ghana. I had never done abseiling before, abseiling 100 meters down into the Volta River. And I just did that to overcome. Yeah, I still haven't gotten there anyway, but I did that to overcome my fear of heights. So do something that challenges you every day. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your kind attention. Now, remember that as Tony Robbins said, all growth starts at the end of your comfort zone. That aspiration, that dream that you have this year is going to come to pass, but it will start at the end of your comfort zone. Make yourself uncomfortable. Get yourself out of your normal routine. Do something that challenges you every day and get 1% better every day. Just 1% better every day. Somebody said, if what you did today still looks good to you today, then you haven't done anything. So every day, you must do something that betters your performance, that raises your performance to another level every day. And if you can do that, then you are going to become the leader that you want to be. At the end of the day, you must be successful, you must be fulfilled. And so how are you going to achieve this too? If you continue to do normal things, if you continue to do your normal stuff. All right, so I always end with an assignment. And so pull your pen and paper, or if you are using the phone or a tablet, kindly write this down so you can work on it. Write down what one main idea did you pick up from this presentation? One main idea. Just write it down. It could be something I said, it could be something that I didn't even say, but as I was talking, just triggered something. And you are like, aha, I heard this before. Write down the one main idea. And then what 2 main lessons are you taking away? What 2 main lessons are you taking away? Write down number 1, number 2 lessons. And then finally, what 3 behaviors will you change? You know yourself. You know your dreams and aspirations. You know where you want to see your life come 31st December 2022. To do that means you must change something. So just write down 3 behaviors that you are going to change to make you a better person, a better leader, a more successful leader, so that you can achieve your dreams and aspirations. 1 main idea, 2 main lessons, 3 key behaviors that you want to change from this presentation. Thank you very much. God bless you. I hand over to Samuel to moderate the Q&A. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, dear friend. My name is Samuel Ayim, and I'm the CEO for the Center for Transformational Leadership. And I'm bringing to you the growth journey. We've set aside 15 weeks of growth to help you to be intentional about your growth. Where do you want to reach in your leadership? Which area of your life do you want to grow in? Growth doesn't just happen. It has to be intentional. So in these 15 weeks, we're going to have special coaching sessions with you to be able to grow to where you want to grow. And to be able to grow yourself, you need to know yourself. A lot of us are not achieving the maximum we can achieve because we have not invested in our personal growth. We're going to help you in all and more within these 15 weeks. Every week we'll have a session with you. This program is limited to only 15 people. We're going to have 15 people for 15 weeks, and we're going to learn 15 great growth lessons on this journey. So make a date with us and see you on the growth journey.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael, for those great lessons. I just checked my time and it was past 8 and was getting to 8. I said, no, this is too good. I don't want to stop him. Let him just flow for us. And thank you so much, Michael. That was really good. And I'm seeing so many great comments already. So I want you guys to answer the questions. If you don't get your answers correct, we will lock your Facebook app. You will not be able to access it. So go ahead and answer the assignments that Michael has given us. Michael, take some rest. I'm going to go through the comments and we'll come back to you. But before I move to the comments, I want to encourage you guys, all of you, to sign up to the growth journey. We have already filled the third cohort, which is full, and we have started. We're already on the third week of the, this week will be the third week of the journey on Tuesday. But there's so many people who are coming up. So the fourth cohort is already filling up. So we want to encourage you. On the third cohort, we have great professionals, accountants, executives, lawyers, architects, bankers, 15 great minds around the table. And already in the 2 weeks, it's been great learning. And so the things that Michael has kicked our heads off, we're going to take you systematically in 15 weeks, because if you do these things over and over a certain period, then it becomes the habit. So we want to help you kick off the comfort zone habits so that you can be able to become the person. This year, just decide that you want to spend these 15 weeks so that you can transform yourself. And sometimes it's not helpful that you're struggling with it on your own. So you're going to have 15 other people with myself as the captain of the ship, and we're taking you through this journey systematically. And we're working also through the 15 Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. So John is on our side, I'm here, and you have other 15 great minds. As I said, the first cohort, the third cohort has started already. We are in the third week. So register now. Some people have already registered. Once we get 15, we're going to start. We are not waiting for the third cohort to finish. We're going to run the two journeys at the same time. So go ahead, feel free, and register for the growth journey, and you will not regret it. Thank you so much, Michael, for that. All right. Willie is here, and I was looking forward to a great lesson. I'm sure he has. All the questions that Michael asked. All right. We want you to go through them. Alan Trehan is here. Alan, you're welcome. Douglas Amwatin was here. Jemima, all the way from the US, was here. Kwame JB said, I'm learning a lot tonight, as always. So that was great. Cynthia, good evening. House from Cynthia. Catherine Engman says, I love that. Lessons learned from failure. That is such a great growth mindset. Absolutely important when Michael says that, they don't just give a report of activity, but your failure report. And actually, that is one of the ideas I have also picked. Great idea. Wavo, all the way from Togo. Always great to be here. Aletia SK Glover says, good evening. Catherine, think about your thinking. Yes, absolutely. So, Michael, Catherine, picking some of your great ideas and throwing them back, even getting up from a different side of your bed can help you change your behavior. Absolutely important. Cynthia, always on point. God bless you, Coach. All right, so that's feedback. Great presentation from Janet FK Liu Bahi. I hope I pronounced it well. If I didn't, forgive me. Janet, thank you so much. Miami says, I commit to doing something every day that makes me uncomfortable. All right, so that's my mail for you. Al Hassan Naum says, please, how do you deal? And this is probably a question for you, so note it, Michael. How do you deal with the fear of uncertainty and the problem of procrastination when you are striving out of your comfort zone? This is a great question. All right, Michael. Two things that can kill you: the uncertainty and procrastination. How do you deal with these two big enemies of success and of growth? All right, Mommy. Behaviors I will change include time spent on social media, sleeping late, and procrastination. So Mami is already answering his assignment, and everybody on the call, please go ahead and answer your assignment. We are waiting for your answers. Nehemiah, worry. Nehemiah is writing something. I think it was a slip of fingers on the phone. Obed Komna Ashanti, very deep and insightful presentation. So, Michael, thank you so much. Let's come back and let's deal with at least the question that is on the table from Hassan Memu. How do you deal with uncertainty? And I have a few questions also for you when you finish with
All
that.
right.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, Alasan, one of the things you need to learn about your brain, the way your brain works, is that it takes an enormous amount of processing for your brain to do something new. The research is that every second our brain processes 2 million bytes of information. Now, that's a lot. And if you just oppose that with the 35,000 thoughts that are jumping through our minds and all of that. So that is why it's so difficult for us to learn new information, because there's a lot of processing going on before we can accept it or before we can capture it. And so one of the things that your brain does in order for you to be sane, in order for you to get on with your normal life, is that one, it deletes a lot of the information just so that it can process the most valuable ones. And how does it process the most valuable ones? It processes them by listening to your thoughts and listening to your own words. And so it begins to say, oh, okay, this is important to my master. Then I will let him remember this one. Or by the way he's thinking, he actually wants to focus on this aspect of his life. So it will delete about 90% of the information, or 87 to 90%. And then it also develops a system of routine and habit for you so that it doesn't have to process every new thing every day. So imagine you wake up every morning and you have to think about how to brush your teeth. You have to think about how to apply pomade. You have to think about how to eat. You have to think about you can't survive as a human being. And so you have begun to kind of compartmentalize the way you live. what we then call routine and habit. So this is why it's so important when we are in the comfort zone. So this routine and habit that allows us to go through our lives is what becomes our comfort zone. Because then it's the same, you don't have to process new information. So one of the things you want to do about uncertainty, about fear, is one, bring it within your frame of reference. That is, think about it. So once you begin to think about it, you now bring it within the processing for your brain to now act upon it. That is how come, for instance, you've been driving an Opel, and then this year you buy a Benz. All of a sudden, every car you see on the road is a Benz. Because last year or before you bought the Benz, you had not brought it within your frame of reference. And so your brain never processed any picture that you saw about a Benz. But once you have now brought it within your frame of reference, what does it do? It begins to process pictures of a Benz. And so that is what you need to, whatever change you want to undertake this year, bring it within your frame of reference by thinking about it. And once you start thinking about it, your brain now begins to give you more information. You begin to research. That is what other people say, that when you focus on something, the universe responds to you. How does the universe respond? Because now you have brought it within your mind. Your brain is now thinking about it. Your brain is now allowing you to see that thing. So whatever change, one, think about it, then begin to talk. We talked about developing a roadmap. So whatever it is that you are afraid, just have a little roadmap. And then secondly, build the skill to be able to do that which you fear. Because acquiring the skill gives you confidence. Now, once you have confidence, you are no longer afraid to be able to launch it. And then one of the things I would also advise is get a support. It's very difficult to go it alone. And so get a coach, get a mentor, get an accountability partner, a friend who is going to help you to go through the process of your change. If you can do these 4 things, I believe that you should be fine.
All right. Thank you so much. What about the procrastination aspect of his question?
Yeah, procrastination is really mental laziness. And so one of the things you want to do, once again, is to schedule, first of all, break down the task. So whatever it is that you want to do and you don't feel like it, is because you have not given yourself enough motivation to be able to undertake that particular task. So break it into manageable proportions and just do step 1. Once you do step 1, dopamine is released, you get excited, you get, oh, I did it. And then that gives you the energy to move to step 2. Now, somebody said, how do you eat an elephant? Mm-hmm. You chop it into pieces. So even though it looks huge, once you chop it into pieces, you can eat it one piece at a time. So whatever task that you have to do, break it into smaller proportions and then tackle each proportion. And then once, schedule it. As I said, you have to wake up at 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. to jog. Have your gym shoes and socks ready. Have your trunks ready. If you like, put it on the floor. So that serves as a reminder to be able to do that which you procrastinate. And then once again, get an accountability partner to help you to do what you must do.
Great. Thank you so much. I see a few comments coming up. Janet is asking, how do you select the 15 people for the growth 15 weeks of learning? I really would be grateful to be part. Kindly highlight on the selection. All right. So, Janet, the selection is very simple. Once you register, you are in. And so we close the door when the 15 people come in, and then we have a cohort. Then we start again, and when 15 people come in, we've had already 2 groups finished the journey. The 3rd group is on the journey. The 4th group we are still in the process. So you can quickly join. I think the Kofi can share the link on the. Please share the link so that people who want to register for the 15 laws of growth Janet can register. Now, Miss Abby says, very insightful presentation. Now, this has got me thinking. And Michael, you said we should start thinking about how we think. So Miss Abby is already thinking about her thinking. What if the attitude I have towards work now that I think is effective, is actually my comfort zone, which means I could do better if I try. Okay, so we want to comment on that. Then also, I want you to throw a bit of light. You said that you have 10 comfort zone, 10 domains and 8 domains, and people work with different numbers. I mean, will you please elaborate on that? What are these domains, so that people will know whether these domains that we are talking about, so they focus on it. So address Miss Abby's comment that she's thinking this is the most effective way to do her work, and but now she's thinking, is it a comfort zone? Can she do better?
Yes, there's always a better way, Miss Abby. You can always better your performance. And if your role doesn't allow you to, for instance, continue to innovate and to add new things, then you must step up. You can go to your boss and say, you know what, I've been in this role for 7 years. I have been learning about this other role, and I want you to give me a shot. I have a friend who was for many years working as HR manager, and he just got up 1 year after he challenged himself and said, I want to go into sales. And so he shifted from HR to sales, but within the same business, the same company. And he said, I just want to try. I mean, if I fail, I can always come back to my HR. So you can continue to think about what you do every day, break down all your work processes and ask yourself, at each point of this process, how can I make it better? How can I make it faster? How can I make it more efficient? How can I make it cheaper for the business? And you'll be amazed at the ideas that will keep coming to you. And either in the same role, or you can ask for another role, just to challenge yourself and to push yourself up the corporate ladder. The 10 life domains that I talked about, one is our character. Character is a life domain. So who you are when nobody is watching, that's your character. Then you have your health side. All of us, at the end of the day, health and fitness is what will keep us going. So then you have health and then fitness. Then you have your love and romance. That's another aspect of our lives, love or romance. Then you have your marriage or your relationship. There's a difference between that, and we explain it. Then you have your financial health. At the end of the day, you must make the money. How are you making the money? Through the business you do or through the work that you do? So there's finance. Then there's career or business. If you work for someone, you have a career. If you are running your own things, then you have a business to run. So that's another domain of your life. Then we place emphasis. That's why I said that some coaches use 8. We use 10. We have parenting. Parenting is very big for us at Lead Africa. And so what is your parenting role like? If you don't have a child, maybe you have a ward, and in Africa we have cousins and younger nephews and nieces who are always staying with us. So then you are a parent to that child, and so please look at that. Then you have your social network. Aristotle said man is by nature a social animal, and so your social network, some people say social net worth, but whatever it is, within your circle, how will you measure that? That is one major aspect of your life. Then you look at your intellectual life. At the end of the day, what is your ability to assimilate, process, and then interpret information? How would you say, how healthy is your intellectual life? You may be doing very well professionally, but when was the last time you stimulated your intellect? And it's something that you need to work on. How many have I mentioned? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so your intellectual life. I have character. Yeah, so I've given you 9 out of the 10 that we use at Lead Africa. And every year, you should start your year by assessing yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on these life domains. How satisfied are you on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest on each of these 10 life domains? And you can use that as the basis for your goal setting or your planning for the year. Some coaches don't add the parenting and then the intellectual, but we believe, and the character. Some coaches also don't do the character. Depends on who you are working with and what their focus is. But some will take that out and give you just about 6 or 8 of this life domain. So as you can see, this is like a wheel on which a bicycle or a motorcycle is running. It's like the different components of a car that come together and we say car. But we know that a car is not just one component, it's not one part. It consists of several parts. And that is just how our lives are. These 10 life domains are running. You can be very healthy, but no money. And you can also have lots of money, but not healthy. So you see that 2 domains are impacted in this one statement. So kindly use this as a basis for reviewing your life. Over to you, Samuel.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much for that. A few comments. Okay, not question. Douglas, I'm watching is, how do I know I'm still in my comfort zone? All right. Carissa said, character is key: intellectual, social, family, parenting, finance, money matters, love matters. All right. So trying to list out the 10 domains. So, all right. So let's take this last question from Amwati, and let's see, because we're running to the half hour. But I'm sure there's so many people want to comment. So how do I know I'm still in my comfort zone?
Okay, so Douglas, as I said earlier on, your comfort zone will change based, for instance, on which of the life domains that you are dealing with. But the indicator is 1, when you are no longer taking risk. 2, when you feel so much at ease that you don't want to ruffle any further. And then 3, when you stop growing, then you know that you are definitely within or operating in the comfort zone. So when was the last time you tried something challenging, something new, something risky within any or each of the life domains? Is it that you have gotten so, and this is hypothetical, is it that, for instance, you've gotten so used to your wife, your spouse, that you haven't done anything new to reinvigorate the relationship? Then you know that when it comes to love and romance, you are operating within the comfort zone. When it comes to your professional life, when was the last time you tried something challenging, you took on a new, you did something? When it's just you get to work, you close from work, you are stay in traffic, you come home, you eat supper, you sleep, you get to work, you stay in traffic, you come home. You haven't done anything challenging or new in the last 3 years, then you know that professionally you are operating within your comfort zone.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think if your bed is still in the same position, you are in your comfort zone. All right. Thank you very much. And if you are eating your breakfast in the same place, in your comfort zone. Michael, I want to thank you so much. Let me see. I'm seeing, I think we have just 5 minutes. Phoebe says, others want to be like me. Why worry? Michael, the way I am, the way I'm doing things, people like it. They want to be like me. Why should I worry myself and go and challenge myself and do something crazy? People even want to be like me. I like this one. Want to comment on that?
Yes, Yes, it's this situation is what we call complacency. You know, there's a difference between being your best and being the best. When you say that others want to be like you, it means you are the best. But being the best is the potential, is the enemy of potential. Because being the best is very relative. Others want to be like you because you are the best, but you are not your best. So even when others are, that's what I'm saying. I give you the example of the iPhone. I mean, when the iPhone was released, people queued 6 hours to get it. Now, Apple could have said, hey, we've made a great product. We are selling. We are now $1 trillion company. Let's rest. Everything is fine. Let's pitch our camp and stay here. But as you can see, we are now using the iPhone 13 because they keep mastering, they keep getting better. And so even when others want to be like you, continue to stretch yourself, continue to stretch the bar. And so let them continue to admire you, but keep growing. Never allow the accolades to get into your head. Now look at the Benz that we are using today and compare it to the Benz that was being driven in 1980. You will see that there's been a lot of modifications and improvements. It's because the Benz company continues to invest in research. They continue to listen to drivers. They continue to find out from the consumer what they want. So today, the car of today has more computer than the computer that was in the Apollo spacecraft that took them in 1971 to the moon and back. It's because we keep learning. So never stop learning. Don't stretch yourself. Even when you are the cynosure of all eyes, continue to raise the bar for yourself. Because the people who admire you today, they are the same people. When you fall down tomorrow, they say, look at that guy.
Absolutely.
So, folks, please keep growing.
Good. Thank you so much. And John C. Maxwell would say, if you are always at the top of your class, then you are in the wrong class. So, Phoebe, right. If you're just at the top of the class, always, and you are the one that everybody wants to be like, you are in the wrong class. Move to another class where you are not the top of the class, where others are better than you, where you want to be, you're challenged to be like others, then you'll be growing. So thank you so much, Michael. I think this has been a great session, great contribution, and we want to thank you so much. We want to thank everybody who joined us on the platform this evening. And this is live on your Facebook. You can share on YouTube. You can share with your family and friends and colleagues and bosses, because these are really great ideas that Michael has shared with us. And I want to thank Kofi, Abigail, Dinah, Sarah, Mami, and all the rest of the team for the great work behind the scenes that for bringing us the platform. So thank everybody. We appreciate your time for spending part of your Saturday evening with us. Until next week, when we bring your way another great leader with another great lesson, and I promise you we're going to have another great lesson next week. Please keep your ears open and share subscribe to our YouTube, share our links, and invite your family and friend to the leadership platform. We want to thank you, everybody. Have a very good night and go to church tomorrow. God be with you. Thank you, God, for this session, and God bless us. Give us a good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hi, dear friend. My name is Samuel Ayim, and I'm the CEO for the Center for Transformational Leadership. And I'm bringing to you the growth journey. We've set aside 15 weeks of growth to help you to be intentional about your growth. Where do you want to reach in your leadership? Which area of your life do you want to grow in? Growth doesn't just happen. It has to be intentional. So in these 15 weeks, we're going to have special coaching sessions with you to be able to grow to where you want to grow. And to be able to grow yourself, you need to know yourself. A lot of us are not achieving the maximum we can achieve because we have not invested in our personal growth. We're going to help you in all and more within these 15 weeks. Every week we'll have a session with you. This program is limited to only 15 people. We're going to have 15 people for 15 weeks, and we're going to learn 15 great growth lessons on this journey. So make a date with us and see you on the growth journey.